Yo, what's going on, man?
Yo. That was a good way to start it too, by the way, with the yo. Did you see the hype video?
I know, man. It's been a crazy few days, so no, I have not actually. Came out today, didn't it? Though.
Yeah, they start off everybody. It's just everybody saying yo.
Oh, nice, perfect.
Yeah, so
All right, mate.
that was a good start. But we're gonna before the bird season kicks off because the Chiefs and Ravens are playing right now. We wanted to go on record with what our records will be for them, what we think. And I'm going to tell you right now, my record is looking quite homerish. Um, it was even more homerish, but I went in and threw an extra L in there just to so as not to anger the football gods as much as I'm going to anyway. But we're going to go through game by game and give our not so expert opinions
Yeah,
on
yeah,
how we
no,
think this season's going to go.
yeah, definitely, and I will. I'm going to go on record. I did did a couple with you as well. I got done throwing three fantasy drafts. Big fantasy football player. So I have I like to think I have a pretty decent knowledge of at least offensive players in the league and at least some of the upper tier defenses. So hopefully I'm going to kind of go with that gauge on against these teams the Eagles are playing. So just kind of looking at it that way. And again, look, let's preface this by saying we are going to discuss this hoping for the best, that there's no knock on wood major injuries or, anything in that regard. So we kind of just go with, hey, as it stands now, the lineup that we have, and hopefully we can push forward with most of that lineup for the season. That's kind of how we approach this, because let's be honest, if we're doing this for the Kansas City Chiefs and the Kansas City Chiefs somehow dropped Mahomes, Kelsey, Rasheed Rice, and someone else, for the first week or two of the season, chances are we wouldn't say, oh yeah, they'll win 12 or 13 games. They might be a 7-win team at that point. So, obviously we're hoping for the best for our birds. So we're just kind of going with that mentality.
And we're already down two players. We're already down two starters in Devin White and Isaiah Rodgers. So
yeah. So we got to be mindful of that. We'll kind of take that into consideration. I know Devin White didn't any make the trip to Brazil. Did Rodgers not make that trip either?
Rodgers made the trip. They thought he was going to play, and he's not able.
Okay.
They just announced it probably around like 5 or 6 o'clock.
Okay. Yeah. So relatively fresh news there. But yeah, no, aforementioned Eagles, the Eagles, Eagles play week 1 in Brazil, which is interesting. I don't believe this ever happened before.
No, this is the first game in South America. There's been games in Mexico City before, but nothing in South America. Not thrilled about it. So most of the players don't seem to be thrilled about it, but here we are. So it's a tough Green Bay team and another team that'll be in the hunt for the NFC Championship this year. I'm so tempted to go with a loss, and only because we've had a lot of changes on offense and defense, and both coordinators. Now, for the better, mind you, but I can't say the team is going to lose the first game of the season. I can't do it. Nick Sirianni's won his other 3 openers, and I don't think anything changes here. I say the Eagles come away with a victory in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Sao Paulo, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
No, I agree. This is going to be a win, and it's going to be close, field goal or less than a touchdown. And I'll be honest, I don't think this is going to be a high scoring affair either. This will not be a shootout. I really do believe this is going to be a 16-13, type setting, maybe a 2017. I just don't see this being a high scoring game. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think, new country, completely different stadium. Whether jet lag might be a concern, I don't know, just from traveling, not necessarily from traveling time zones per se, but but just the travel itself. I just think this is a Eagles win, but a small win over a limited amount of points. I'd say it's an under 40 combined, in my opinion.
Okay. All right, week 2, the Atlanta Dirty Birds come to Philly, led by Big Kirk Cousins, and I think another good offense. I think that the Packers have the more talented offense, but I do think that obviously Atlanta is going to have a better offense this year than they did last year. Defense, I'm still not sold on, but again, I feel like the Eagles win this one too.
Yeah.
I can't see them losing the home opener.
No, home opener, Kirk Cousins in prime time. That's all I need to say.
Yeah.
Eagles are going to absolutely blow the doors off them. I love Atlanta's offense. I don't know that I love Kirk Cousins running Atlanta's offense, even though I know Kirk Cousins is phenomenal stat sheet guy. I think Bijan's a hell of a running back. I quite honestly would have wished that they never made that Cousins sign and just let Penix have at it. Would have loved to see the kid and Bijan just kind of carve up the league, but that's not happening. Instead, we get, Kirk Cousins coming back off of injury with a completely new team. And in prime time, I just don't see it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, it's a Monday Night Football game too. So, right? It's Monday night or Sunday
Monday Night Football game. Yeah, Monday night.
Yeah,
so yeah.
So yeah, you're not. You're getting primetime Kirk Cousins, which is never that great. So, all right, on to week 3 at the New Orleans Saints, and the Eagles are not losing to the Saints. They're back to being the Aints. They still have Alvin Kamara. They have Derek Carr, but they're not winning this game.
No,
the Eagles are winning.
I don't like the Saints at all. Alvin Kamara is one year older. One more year on the rubber, so to speak, with him. I realize he's a absolute phenomenal talent, but I don't see it. I don't really care for Derek Carr. At least in the Saints offense, they're going to win some ball games this year. Ain't going to be against the Birds. Birds are going to knock them out. Quick 3-0 start to the season. And truth be told, if the Eagles out of these first 3 games are going to lose a game, even though I don't think they will, it'd likely be against the Packers.
I agree.
Ahead of the Falcons and Saints. I don't think they lose any of these 3, but if I were to say, okay, pick your poison, which one, I think it'd be the Packers.
Right. And then off to Tampa, where we get revenge again, because we win in the regular season in Tampa, and we can't beat them in the playoffs, apparently. But we're going to get revenge on Baker, and Eagles, as far as I have them so far, again, assuming they don't lose to the Packers in week 1, which I have them winning, and so do you, we're off to a 4-0 start going into the bye.
Yeah, I agree 100%. This is revenge 101. I don't know that it's an absolute destruction type revenge, but it's revenge nonetheless. I agree. 4-0 heading into the bye week, which is an early bye week at week 5, it seems like.
Yeah, I hate the early buys. I hate the early buys a lot. But we come out of the bye. We have Cleveland at home, so we're playing them in Philly. This game could be a stumbling block coming out of the bye, but I don't see them losing at home. If it was in Cleveland, maybe losing this game, but I've got them winning this game.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And coming out of the bye, I thought the same thing. It's like if they go to Cleveland, this could easily be a loss. And you know what? They're at the link, and I do love Cleveland. There are some players on that team I really enjoy. David Njoku, I think, is one of the elite tight ends of the league, and I just think he's just a phenomenal talent. You do have some weapons on that team that are just ridiculous. That being said, you're at the link. Don't see it for Cleveland. 5-0. Then they move on to up the road a little bit for the next week to play the New York Football Giants at MetLife. Man, I don't know what to tell you on this one because look, it's still Daniel Jones. Look, they don't even have Saquon anymore.
Yeah,
Wonder where he went. Huh.
yeah. Their
I
best
heard.
player is now an Eagle. So,
Yeah, yeah.
I, dude, this is the revenge. This is Saquon revenge game number one.
Yeah. Look, I'm optimistic at this point going into this game. They're 5-0. I really believe that they will be. And they're absolutely going to slaughter the Giants. I don't even know where to begin with this team at this point.
Yeah,
The Giants did not improve in the offseason whatsoever. I don't know. Don't know where to begin.
yeah. They could be down to Tommy Cutlets at this point.
Dude, I'm telling you. Yeah, because Daniel Jones is gonna get hurt probably in week 2 or 3.
Yeah, dude, playing on that turf. That's the biggest thing. When you play the Giants in MetLife or the Jets, even you're not just playing the Giants or the Jets. You're playing the Giants, the Jets, and the turf.
Right. Right.
So
Yep.
hopefully, my biggest hope is that we make it out without any injuries.
Yeah,
I'm
no, I
almost
agree.
willing to, dude. I'm almost willing to forfeit the game and just let's. But we both have them at 6-0 going into Cincinnati. This is where I give them their first loss. And I was
You know,
hesitant to give them their loss. I actually had it as a win at first, but I looked and I'm like, they're not going to go 14-3. So I could be wrong. Maybe they will. Maybe they'll surprise the shit out of me. But I
uh,
have them losing this game.
and I'm tempted to agree with you on this, mainly for the sheer fact of Cincinnati's a powerhouse team, a perennial playoff club at this point. They had the kind of the weird holdout stuff with Jamar. Their wide receiving core altogether is very, very hard to beat comparatively almost against anyone in the league. And then not just saying, I'm talking about practically everyone on their team. It's really deep. It's really ridiculous. Joe can throw. I don't know that Joe. I don't know. I don't know if he can maintain the level. I honestly feel with him there's going to be a little bit of regression, even though he's several years in at this point. I just don't. I don't know. I don't think that they're going to be as good as a lot of people say they are. I think they're going to be a formidable team. I think the Eagles make it close. Again, being a away game, I realize it's tough, but I think they're going to be 7-0. I really do.
All right.
I believe
I
it.
like it. I like it. Then we come home, and it's the first of two Kelly Green games against Jacksonville. Dougie P, Trevor Lawrence, and a win for the Eagles.
Yeah, I agree on this one too. As far as the Jacksonville win, it's at home. It's another night game, I believe, on the schedule. And look, they're going to show up, show out. At this point, I love some of the Jacksonville players. ETN. I don't have a lot of love for Trevor Lawrence anymore. I don't know why. I just don't. Assuming that everything is on the right and ready, 8-0.
Which brings us to the first Dallas game at Dallas. And maybe part of the reason I gave the loss in Cincinnati is because I couldn't bear for Dallas to make us undefeated or to knock us out from being undefeated. But I do have us losing at Dallas. And that hurts my heart to say.
It pains me even more because I have them losing as my first loss.
Ooh.
So yeah, 8-1. It sucks because I do have a feeling they're going to ride high into that game and then just come crashing down. Unfavorable environment. Dallas is. Look, I don't think they did anything to improve their situation either at all. No. Probably more more so on the lesser side than the Giants even. But they're still a very formidable club. As much crap as we give Dak, look, the guy during the regular season is one hell of a talent. Not so much during the playoffs, but but during the regular season, the guy shows up. So, I really do think Dallas takes this game.
All right. Then we come back home, we bring it back home, and we got Washington, and I believe that game is a win for the Birds.
Yeah, I do too. I don't have much for the Commanders at all. I mean, I don't think they're a very good team. I really think your basement is going to be battled out between the Giants and the Commanders. I think the Giants are a worse club, but I don't know how much the Commanders are really bringing to the table at this point. So
Yeah, I mean they've got some talent. You've got Terry McLaurin, you've got Austin Eckler,
yeah, they
you've
brought in
got
Eckler from
Brian
the Chargers.
Johnson.
Yeah,
And your defense is not bad. They're fair to middling. Um, but you've got a rookie quarterback, and who knows? Maybe that juices them up. But I just don't see it. To me, Washington's not winning a game against the Eagles this year. Foreshadowing their kids.
yeah, no, I don't think so either. Like I said, I agree. I like Eckler. I like Robinson. McLaurin's great. They do have some talented pieces there, but not enough. And particularly at this game too, because I mean, this is a home game for the Birds. 1-2 knockout moves into Week 12 against the Rams in LA. Another nighttime game on a Sunday. Look. I think the Rams had a great bounce back season. And looked at with Cup and Puka, you've got some weapons there. And Stafford is still a serviceable, excellent quarterback. I mean, I don't have any reservations there. I just think the Eagles are just too much for them at this point. I don't know that the Rams defense is going to be able to contain the Birds offense, and the Birds will fly high in that one and go 10-1.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Kyron Williams on the ground, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, Matthew Stafford, still Matthew Stafford, but I can't see the Eagles losing in LA. Now they come back across the country and they play Baltimore at Baltimore. I do have them losing that game, assuming everything stays status quo, and Lamar Jackson's healthy, Derrick Henry's healthy. I feel like that's a tough matchup, especially coming back across the country. And so I've got them losing that game.
Yeah, I do too. That is a ridiculous lineup. Not that it wasn't before, but you throw in Derrick Henry to that already ridiculous offense that's spearheaded by Lamar. Man, I don't know. Like that to me, it's just crazy. Like, yeah, Eagles lose that one. I had a suspicion in my head if that was a home game for the Eagles would keep it close and win it. But being a home game for the Ravens, particularly after, coming back, playing the Rams, I do think it's a Ravens win, and it's 10-2 Birds at that point for me.
Right. So then we do have we've got two more games at home in a row here. They bounced back against Carolina with a big win. There's no question in my mind.
Will Carolina win a game this year?
Carolina's going to win at least two games this year, I think. I don't know which ones they're going to be, but I feel like they're going to be good for 2 wins.
Yeah, that's just God, what a bad team.
And then we get Pittsburgh in Philly, which I'm calling a win. They haven't won there since, was it the 50s, the 40s?
Yeah, Pittsburgh's not winning. Carolina's definitely not winning, and Pittsburgh's definitely not winning either. They're running completely different at this point with who knows whether it be Russell Wilson or Justin Fields. I kind of have a feeling by week 15 it'll likely be Justin Fields. But I think that'll actually come much sooner. I think Russell Wilson's going to highly disappoint everybody. And the other thing too, I'd never liked this about the Steelers watching it last season, and this again was from the fantasy perspective. I really don't like that spearheaded running back combo of Jalen Warren and Najee Harris. I just don't care for it, and I think it shows on the field too. I just don't know that really translates to victories.
Right.
So yeah, no. Carolina's an easy win. Steelers won't be as easy, but it's still going to be a pretty solid win for the Birds.
Right. And then our last 3 games of the season are all NFC East games. We go to Washington. We already both said that's a win. Um, then we've got Dallas, which is the second Kelly Green game, and it's at home. And there's no way we're losing to Dallas at home in Kelly Green.
Yeah, 100% agree. The home game against Dallas will be the revenge for the Dallas loss on the road. And I agree, and I like the Kelly Green factor as well. The Birds finish up the season again at home against the Giants. I think we've kind of discussed the Giants like we've discussed the Commanders. Here's the thing: I have the Birds at this point at 14-2, which is obviously with that kind of record is a solid like number 1 seed. So against the Giants, you could be playing like, I don't know, with a hot dog vendor at quarterback, and I'll say this is a win, but I think it's also very fair to say that this could be a starters get the rest, and yeah, you're not going to see much of anything.
See, now this one I actually have as a loss, but for the same reason, because I think at this point in the season, I think Tanner McKee's starting the game. I think it's basically a preseason game.
Mm-hmm.
That's the quality of players you're seeing on the field this week. Now, hopefully, I'm wrong and it's a win, but even if it's not, I feel like that game is not going to matter. I feel like hopefully the Dallas game doesn't really matter aside from let's crush the Cowboys, but that's where I think we're at that point, and I think that puts the Eagles for me. I've got them finishing 13-4. You've got them finishing 14-3. And like I said, I was at 14-3, but I just couldn't have Dallas give us our first loss. But aside from that Cincinnati game, we were completely aligned. So
yeah, and I kind of thought we would be. I just really wonder with like I said, as we kick this off with not only just the health of the Birds, but the health of other players on other teams. You just really wonder what's going to happen down the road, what against some of these other teams. So, yeah, no, I do think it's a fair estimation that this is a 14-plus win possibility season. And who knows? I highly doubt that we see what we saw last year.
Right.
I just don't think that's going to happen. I think they've fixed that problem without us even seeing it. I think that problem was fixed pretty quickly after the Tampa Bay game.
Yes.
And again, as much as I want to see them kick off the season with the victory, and I really think they will, the fact that the Brazil factor is kind of the only wild card to me of any of these games in the entire season, honestly.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean that's the thing too. It's with the air quality issues and everything else. It could go, and the travel. Granted, both teams will have to deal with all of those aspects, but it's going to be a difficult game in Brazil. And just hopefully the Birds pull it off. Finish like we think, either 13-4 or 14-3. I like your record better, obviously. But let's see what happens. But aside from that, all I got to say is go Birds and fuck Dallas.